All right, back again with another top 10 list, this time for the PS3. I've got some nice comments on the previous ones, PS5 and PS4. No haters this far. That's strange. Usually there's there's at least a couple of people who come in with the negative comments when it's time to list things. But no, across the board, positive comments. That's nice to see. For the PS3 list, let's see if we can keep this up, because I'm not going to include some really big titles here. This is again a top 10 list of games that I've enjoyed the most. So this is not a best games on the system list. This is my favorite games on the system list. So this was not as difficult to come up with than or as difficult as the PS4 list, because there are far fewer really great PS3 games, in my opinion. There are some really good ones, but just overall, I don't think PS3 has a very strong catalog of games. It's probably the weakest of all the mainline Sony consoles, to be honest. There isn't much depth to it. Many of the mid-tier games are just mid, as opposed to like really good cult classics. So yeah, I came up with 22 games that I couldn't remove anything from this 22 without feeling bad about it. So I'll start off the same way as I did last time. So I have here 7 games that I'm just going to list off. So these are from 22 to 16, not in any particular order, just in alphabetical order. Games that were in consideration but didn't make it to the honorable mentions. So I've got here Assassin's Creed 2. By far my favorite Assassin's Creed game of the couple that I've played. It's fantastic, but I don't love Assassin's Creed. The same goes with Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. A classic first-person shooter, one of the best in the series, and to be honest, Call of Duty 2 on the PC, still the best Call of Duty game. That's for the old school people. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, really good memories of that. The single-player campaign was fantastically fun. I haven't played the remaster of it. I only played the original. But yeah, online as well, playing with friends, it's great. Also, split screen. Played split screen with a bunch of people on the same couch. Really fun stuff. But I'm not a Call of Duty guy. So that's that. Far Cry 3. Another game that is very highly regarded, a highly regarded first-person shooter as well. Great open world, fun, mayhem, but I don't love it. It's great. I like it, but I don't love it. Another game that I like a lot, but it's just not good enough for a top 10 is the original Little Big Planet. So that's the fourth one that I'm going to list here. The original Little Big Planet I have a lot of nostalgia for. I never played the sequel, so I only know the original. I even did some levels myself, like custom levels, and it's a really fun time. Lost to time now, of course, because the servers aren't online anymore, but yeah, there you go. The 5th one here is Ninja Gaiden Sigma, which is the PS3 version of the first Xbox Ninja Gaiden game, the third-person hack and slash game. Insanely difficult. I was disappointed that I couldn't include this on the top list, but whatever. Like, the stuff that I have here is just unbeatable. And then I also have here on the list Tekken 6. For the PS4, I had Tekken 7, so there's a pattern here. I like Tekken games, but they aren't necessarily my favorite thing in the world. So Tekken 6 is not on the list, but I want to give it a shout out. It's one of the better Tekken games, in my opinion. Really fun. Has a good balance between the arcadey stuff and the more hardcore, know your combos stuff, but without getting too complicated. And then lastly, for these games that aren't on the list, the Beatles Rock Band. That's maybe a little bit of a bizarre one to pick, but I really fell in love with the Beatles Rock Band. I played it for several weeks, like daily. I was trying to do all of the songs on the hardest difficulties and everything, playing with guitar, bass, drums, everything. And I don't know, it's probably my favorite Guitar Hero Rock Band style game ever made. So the Beatles Rock Band also has really nice music videos. They created these sort of 3D Beatles, like fake music videos for all of the songs. It's really nice looking. It's great. Good stuff. So that's the 7. And then we get to, as usual, games that I wish I had played, but I haven't. So I have 3 games here that would probably be in contention had I played them. So I've got Asura's Wrath, the Capcom game with the ridiculous like QuickTime event gameplay. Then I've got here Bayonetta. Never finished it. I played for a couple of hours and had to drop it because I didn't have the time to play it. And then Castlevania Lords of Shadow, which is probably the only third-person Castlevania game, like 3D Castlevania game that people actually like. So yeah, those ones I haven't played. So now we get to the actual list with 5 honorable mentions. Now these are not in any order except for the alphabetical order. So the 5 last games that I had to cut from the list, and it was really difficult, are Batman Arkham Asylum. I've only played 2 of these Batman games by Rocksteady, and I like the first one better. It's a really nice hub-based, really tight third-person action game. Fun exploration. Maybe the only negative I have for this game is that the final boss fight is really bad. But yeah, other than that, Batman Arkham Asylum, like an unexpected, really, really good game. I wasn't expecting a Batman licensed game. I mean, there are other good Batman licensed games, but I wasn't expecting one to be this good. I like the Arkham Asylum style of Batman, this really dark style to Batman. So yeah. And then this is a controversial one, but I have here as an honorable mention the original BioShock. Just didn't make the list. I played this game obsessively when it came out first, but I don't know how well it has aged. I should probably go back to it and play the PS4 version at some point, but I don't know how well it has aged. I'm not in love with the series itself. I don't think the second game or Infinity are really anything special. Especially Infinite. People see, like, when it was launched, people didn't really like it, and then people suddenly started rating it really highly, and now I don't even know. I never really cared much for Infinite. So yeah, but the original BioShock, really good stuff. Has the director of I think System Shock 2, Ken Levine, yeah. He came up with this game. So he has a very clear System Shock feel to it. Just a more accessible style of gameplay. And really interesting story. Well-written game. Has this nice vintage look to it as well. So yeah, I'm kind of sad that I can't have BioShock on the list. It would probably be at number 11, but yeah, just didn't make the cut. Then I've got here another hard hitter. This is God of War 3, the massive action spectacle. I mean, the opening section of God of War 3 is just insane. When you are climbing on the Titans and doing this like huge just fight with the Titans and the gods and everything, just insane stuff. On the PS3, like, there wasn't anything as big scale and as impressive as God of War 3, so it definitely deserves a shout out. I prefer the newer God of War games over this old school, more arcadey hack and slash style of God of War, but yeah, God of War 3 definitely the best one of the old school titles in the series. Then I got here another big one. This is Grand Theft Auto 5. Nowhere near my favorite in the series. I prefer San Andreas and Vice City. But GTA 5 is just a huge game. probably one of the best open world games. I do have one open world game on the top 10 list, actually, that I think is better than GTA 5. But yeah, the world in GTA 5, the gameplay is fantastic. I don't really love the single player story with the three characters and going between those three characters. I don't know. And also GTA Online, man, I hate what GTA Online did to this series or did to Rockstar and the publisher Take-Two, because they don't even make games anymore other than GTA Online. And of course they have GTA 6 coming up, but that is just going to be a vehicle for them to keep selling GTA Online bucks to kids for the next 15 years when they release that. So yeah, man, there are some huge negatives here for this game for me. GTA Online is one of the big ones. I don't even understand why people play that. It's just garbage, and it just ruined Rockstar for me, pretty much. But yeah, it's still a great game, so it deserves an honorable mention. And then lastly, I've got the original Mirror's Edge. Forget about the story, you can skip all the cutscenes. Forget about the combat, you can skip all the combat. Those are the main reasons why it doesn't make the top 10 for me, but I am a huge fan of the basic gameplay loop of this game. It's a first-person parkour game, so you're just running. It's a puzzle platformer, first-person puzzle platformer with parkour gameplay. It's so good, man. The gameplay is so good, and the art style is such a fantastic, this white and red minimalistic art style. It looks so nice, has a great soundtrack. Who was the soundtrack by? Is it Carbon-Based Lifeforms? No, it's them. It's one of those electronic music groups. I've listened to them quite a bit even before this game came out. I'm blanking on it. I would like to say that it's Carbon-Based Lifeforms, but I could be wrong about that. I don't want to spend time editing these videos. I'm not going to bother editing it on the screen. But if I was right, I was right. If I was wrong, I was wrong. Who gives a shit? So there you go. Mirror's Edge. Love the gameplay. One of the hardest platinum trophies I've ever got, because I got all of the speedrun trophies for Mirror's Edge. Really, really good stuff. Love that game. Right. So now we get to the actual top 10 list. I managed to get here faster than last time. That's great. So starting off with number 10, I've got the original Nier, published by Square Enix. Now, in the PS4 video, I said that Nier Automata is not on my top 10 list because I haven't played it. But I have played the original. So here we go. At number 10, Nier. One of the most unique, probably, action RPG games, JRPG games out there. Like, the story is such an interesting one when you finish the game and then you have to go back in time to a point in the story and then start playing it again. But it changes. So there's this loop thing going on. It's really interesting. I'm pretty sure they did the same thing with Dragon Guard, the games that this director worked on before Nier, where you had just a bunch of different endings. You had to play the game over and over and over again to get the different endings. It's really interesting. But what I like about Nier the most is just the overall atmosphere to it. It feels a lot like one of the other games that I'm going to talk about a lot later in this video, which is Shadow of the Colossus. It has that Shadow of the Colossus feel to it in this barren, kind of post-apocalyptic world with seemingly very little going on, but it's really interesting. Even though there's very little going on, it's really interesting, and there's lots of visual storytelling. And the soundtrack is so good. A lot of people say that Nier Automata has one of the greatest soundtracks ever in video games. So does the original. The soundtrack here is incredible, like ranging from really quiet moments to really loud moments. Just the music is just mind-blowingly good. The basic gameplay is kind of like it's fine. It's action RPG stuff. Yeah, there's some really annoying trophies here. Like you have to grow these different color flowers, and it just takes hours and hours and hours to do. I did all of it. I did get the platinum trophy for Nier. I liked it so much, even though it's a complete pain in the ass. So yeah, that's my general thoughts on Nier. It deserves a spot on the list. Absolutely. Now at number 9, this is probably the most mainstream pick I've done so far in any of the other top 10 lists, and that is Uncharted 2. I was kind of going back and forth if I wanted Bioshock on the list or God of War 3 or Uncharted 2. So I kind of locked Nier at number 10, and I started working from there. Like, what would I pick as number 9? I thought Uncharted 2 deserves a spot on the list. It's also the one that I've played the most recently of the 3 that I mentioned. So God of War 3. What was the other one? God of War 3, Bioshock, and then this one. I played this on the PS4 in the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. I think it holds up incredibly well. Just one of the all-time great Sony first-party Sony games. This like everything about this game is fantastic. The level design is really nice. Lots of exploration. The third-person shooter gameplay is really nice. The cover-based shooting, the platforming is intense. You have these like ridiculous cinematic, so to speak, cinematic moments, especially the beginning with the train and everything. Like just unforgettable moments, just fantastic stuff all across the board. Fist fighting people in a building that is collapsing, like just insane stuff. And for the time, for the PS3, just an insane accomplishment as well. So Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, at number 9. Then we get to the good stuff, the weird stuff. The stuff that some people probably wouldn't expect to see. So let's start with, this is a really big game as well, but I don't see many people talking about it anymore. So at number 8, I have XCOM Enemy Unknown. I could have also gone for XCOM Enemy Within, which is the expansion back. But it's not, well, it kind of goes together with this one, but it's also standalone, so I guess it counts as its own game. So I picked the original XCOM Enemy Unknown. What a fantastic strategy game, tactics game. So you control these individual soldiers, like a group of individual soldiers. It's turn-based and you fight against the aliens. I'm really sad. Side tangent. I recently had an opportunity to buy for the PS1 complete in box mint copies of both of the original UFO games. So UFO Enemy Territory and then the other one. Is it not Enemy Territory? What is it called? Is it Enemy Territory? It's Terror from the Deep. Something, whatever. I'm blank. I'm just losing my mind. I'm blanking on all of these names. Well, 2 of the original XCOM games on the PS1. I had a chance to buy both of them for 90 euros, and I didn't take it. And it was a really good deal, but I had to skip it. I had to. I didn't want to spend that much money on PS1 games that I would never play anyway. But yeah, this is the reboot to the XCOM series. It's an old school PC strategy game series, and this reboot is absolutely fantastic. Really difficult game with permadeath for the characters. You have really challenging, just a ridiculous amount of customization and upgrading your base and everything. Then you send your soldiers to these missions where you have no idea where the enemies are. You're trying to be as careful as possible, and then some huge monstrosity from outer space like flanks you and eats all of your soldiers. It's horrifying. It's great. It's fantastic. Everything about it is great. So XCOM Enemy Unknown at number 8. Number 7, I put Catherine, the Atlus game. Now, the PS4 version is better. It has more content in it. It has new story parts in it. it looks better, it plays smoother. Yeah, whatever. But I didn't have room on the PS4 list for Catherine, so I thought like this is a perfect place to put it instead, because it is basically the same game. Like the basic game is exactly the same. It just doesn't have all of the new content, or any of it really. What am I even talking about? I don't know. Anyway, Catherine, puzzle game, like a third-person puzzle game. You're climbing a tower at night. You have to get to the top before you die, and then you wake up and you go to a bar and you talk with people. So if you've played Persona games, you know what's up. Like there's two sides. There's the gameplay part, and then there's the relationship part. And the relationship part is what I specifically like about this game. Just the overall atmosphere of the bar, where you go and you hang out with your friends and you talk to people, and there are different. It doesn't always go the same way. You have some ways in which you can affect how it goes, and there are multiple endings and everything. So it's interesting to play it multiple times to see like the different kind of relationships you can build with the characters. It's interesting. I like it a lot, but the gameplay is also really fun. Like the gameplay where you have to push and pull these like boxes in order to build yourself a stairway to get higher and higher and higher, and it does get very difficult. I remember on the PS3, I never did the Rapunzel, the optional side puzzles that are really difficult. I never did those, but on the PS4 version, I did all of them, and I managed to do all of them without a guide, which was shocking to me, because on the PS3 I remember trying to do them, but I just couldn't figure it out. So maybe I've become smarter than when I first played this game, like 10 plus years ago. When was this released even? Like 2008 maybe? 2011. It's later than I remember. So yeah, but still, it's been over 10 years at this point. So yeah, Catherine deserves a spot on the list. Great music, great atmosphere, great gameplay loop. Everything is great. It's fun. So yeah, at number 6, we've got a sequel, another sequel, and this is Portal 2 by Valve, when they used to make games and sequels to games. They still haven't done a third game for Portal or Half-Life or anything. Well, technically, they've done multiple. Well, does it count? They've done Counter-Strike, but they've outsourced some of the games, so they haven't done all of them themselves. Yeah, they did Source, and yeah, that didn't go too well for them. Yeah, okay. They haven't done 3 games in any series, but yeah, Portal 2. I don't think it's as good as the original. The original is extremely tight. It's a perfect video game. Portal, the original. It's a perfect video game. Takes like 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours to beat. There's no filler in it. It's great. Portal 2 is much larger. It's much bigger. So it's like obviously it's a first-person puzzle game where you shoot portals. You have 2 portals and you have to use them to solve puzzles. Now they've added here as new mechanics this sort of goo. You can see it on the back that you have to move. And there's also one thing that I really like about this sequel is the co-op mode. So you have this co-op mode, which is a completely different campaign where you and your friend use these robots to solve puzzles. I've played it couch co-op with a friend of mine, worked really well. But yeah, the single player campaign, while I don't think it's as strong as the original game, it is hilarious. Like it's really fun. You've got great voice acting for the villain. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything about the game. There's a villain. Yeah, there's a great voice actor for the villain. There's a great moment with a potato. I really love the potato in this game. The potato is great. And yeah, it's a classic Valve game. It has the classic Valve sense of humor, but also the classic Valve polish. Like it's a really polished, really well developed game, well thought out, well written. Like everything about it is great. And yeah, it's one of the all-time great puzzle games. It's a sequel to one of the all-time great puzzle games, and also an all-time great puzzle game in and of itself. So that's number 6. Number 5, a game that I've talked about in probably at least 10 videos at this point, because I always come back to this, and it's Ketsui. What is the full name? Like, I can't remember the full name. It's something Notachi. I can't remember, but it's Ketsui. Everyone calls it Ketsui. And this is by far my favorite shoot 'em up game of all time. It's a really, really challenging bullet hell shoot 'em up game. Didn't get a physical release, unfortunately, in the West. And yeah, I mean, the soundtrack, the level 2 music in this game is like one of my all-time favorite single tracks in any video game. The stage 2 song. Everything else is great as well, but particularly that song. Like the menu music, like it's there's a vibe to this game that just hasn't been replicated ever since. It is so good. I love the visual style. I love the character designs, the ships, the gameplay itself. I've not beaten the game with 1 credit. There's no way I would ever do that because I'm not as skilled at this sort of games as that requires. But I just love playing through the game. I have, without exaggeration, played through this game over 20-30 times. It's really short. It takes like 20 minutes to do one run. But I've played this on the PS3 at least 10 times, and then on the PS4 at least another 10 times, probably closer to 20 times. I just keep playing this game over and over and over again. Every once in a while, just grab it off my shelf and I play through it once or twice. Just keep playing it. Years after I've already beaten it. Keep coming back to it. So I have to put Ketsui at number 5. If you are if you are interested in shoot 'em up games and you haven't checked out Ketsui, check it out. It's great. Now, back to the more mainstream picks. So we've got the final 4 here. At number 4, we've got Fallout New Vegas. Now, this is the one made by Obsidian. So some of the people who worked on the original Fallout games still at the company at this time, which is great. And yeah, New Vegas is... I like Fallout 2 the best, the old school Fallout 2, but Fallout New Vegas is probably my second favorite in the series. It perfectly captures that feel of the original games, where it's really dark and really dreadful, like open world story-based gameplay. Of course, here it's first person, like Fallout 3 and whatever. It's more action-oriented in that way, not like the old school like point-and-click RPG games on the PC. But the feel is still there. So it's a really dark world with all of these factions fighting for power, but it's also really funny. There's lots of black humor, dark comedy here, and it works incredibly well. Now, has everything aged that well? Not really. Is it technically a good game? Absolutely not. The game runs like ass on the PS3, and the more you play it, the slower it gets. So it's like Fallout 3, where the more you play the game, and Skyrim as well on the PS3, where there's this technical problem with the game where it just runs bad, and the more you play it, the worse it starts to run, and there's nothing you can do about that, really, which is awful. But I still beat it. I beat all of the DLC as well, everything, and it's just a good, solid RPG game. There aren't that many on the PS3 that are even close to being this engaging, and I love the story, how much you can affect where the story goes. You can choose who you want to side with, and they are quite different, and the game ends up in very different places depending on who you side with. The customization is incredible. One thing that they added to this game that wasn't there in the original reboot game Fallout 3 is just how much there is weapon customization and everything like that. There was a little bit of it in Fallout 3 as well, where you could like do a little bit of tinkering with the weapons and everything, like find some really interesting different weapons. But here you can just go balls to the walls with the customization, with the weapons and everything. And yeah, I mean, this is again one of those games where I'm pretty sure I have the platinum trophy for this, and I've explored everything there is to this world, like every single map marker. The map is pretty large. It's not the biggest open world game on the PS3, but there are so many different places to go to. Like the map is just filled with markers, different buildings and dungeons and everything. So it's just full of interesting exploration, and I love this. I love open world exploration when there is something to actually explore that's interesting. There aren't that many games really that do that, because I have a feeling that at this point people were already starting to like one up each another with, oh, we have the biggest map. No, we have the biggest map. And then people start competing with these open world maps, making them bigger and bigger and bigger. But in Fallout New Vegas, they realized the most important thing, which is that it doesn't matter how big your open world map is. What matters is what it's in it. And Fallout New Vegas, I think, is a masterpiece of open world design. Right. And then we get to the top 3. And number 3, I have the original Red Dead Redemption. I think I like this game better than the sequel, just because it's not as bloated as the second game. And I think the story is better in the first game. So the story of John Marston, he's also a character in the second game, because the second game is takes place in the past, before this game happened. So this is kind of a in terms of the story, it's not a sequel, but it has some interesting. If you've played both games, there are some interesting story bits that connect to one another. Let's just put it that way, right? So the original Rockstar PS3 open world Western game. I've never played the PS2 game, Red Dead Revolver. I'm pretty sure that's not open world. So this is an open world. It's basically a GTA game, but in the West, and it's fantastic. Like, I really like how few enemies there are in this game. So this is more about having kind of difficult gunfights with just a couple of enemies. I really like that as opposed to the usual open world action style where there's just 100 guys running at you. So I like this idea that you have a posse. There are outlaws you are fighting against, and everyone is kind of dangerous. I mean, this isn't a difficult game by any means, but everyone is kind of difficult to fight against, and they have a lot of firepower. The revolvers do a lot of damage, and it's in terms of a gameplay loop, I like it better fighting just against a couple of people than mowing down hundreds of enemies. There are some action sequences in this game that have a lot of enemies as well, so I don't want to emphasize that too much, but still. Another thing that I really like about Red Dead Redemption is the slow down action mechanic. I can't remember what they call it in the game, but it's the same kind of a mechanic that they had in the sequel as well, where you can slow down time and mark the enemies, and then after you've marked everything you want, you can just insta kill them. It works really well with the with the style that they were going for here in this game. But yeah, just overall, Fallout New Vegas, one of the great open world games of all time. So is Red Dead Redemption. It's just fantastic, and the story is really surprisingly emotional and well written. Especially the ending, which I'm not going to spoil, but like it was surprising how deep they went with the character here. So yeah, I really enjoy Red Dead Redemption a lot. Deserves a spot in the top 3. Now the last 2 games are really special. Again, to annoy that one Indian guy who doesn't like Dark Souls and keeps bothering me about it. At number 2, we have the original Dark Souls. This is the Prepare to Die edition with the DLC, which is an essential part of the package. I think this is From Software's best game. Just the level design is so immensely good. With the almost free choice you have at the start of the game where you want to go. I don't think From Software has developed as interesting a world to explore as they have here after this game. Like so many iconic places with Undead Burg and it's so good, man. I'm just thinking about the game. I'm just here sitting thinking about the game and how fucking good it is. I want to play Dark Souls again. I haven't played Dark Souls in a long time. I should get the PS4 remaster version that I actually don't even own and just play through it. When I originally played Dark Souls, after finishing the game, I started a new game immediately, a new game plus, and I played through the game again. And after I beat it for the second time, I started a new game plus again. I beat it for the third time, like back to back to back. In 2 weeks, I beat the game 3 times. I didn't do anything else other than play this game for like 2 weeks. I got completely like enraptured by it. And the DLC then, man, Artorias of the Abyss, the DLC is just insanely good. One of the all-time great DLC packs, as I've said in multiple other videos as well. With the boss fight against Artorias, it's so fucking good, man. It's so good. And yeah, the dark fantasy world, I love it. I love the slow combat that's extremely dangerous and difficult. This game isn't as difficult as something like Sekiro or Elden Ring or anything like that, but I think the balance here is just perfect. They also have the rolling skeleton, like the skeleton wheel enemy, which I really like. I'm really sad that they haven't brought back really to the other games. There are variations of it in Elden Ring where you have these wheel enemies, and you also have wheel enemies in some other From Software games. But yeah, just classic, like iconic boss fight designs. The final boss fight. The music in a final boss fight. The music in this game overall is just fantastic, but the final boss fight, the piano track. Man, I'll stop talking about Dark Souls. It's good. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good game. It's at number 2 for me. And then at number 1, I decided to go with the PS3 version of Shadow of the Colossus. So, as I've said over and over again in different videos, Shadow of the Colossus is my favorite game, and this is my favorite version of it, so I decided to put it into the PS3 list, as opposed to the PS2 list, where it would also have been at number 1 had I made that. Actually, would it have been... No, actually, it wouldn't have been eligible for the PS2 list because I haven't completed Shadow of the Colossus on the PS2 ever. I've played it on the PS2, but I've never completed it because I first played it on the PS3. So this is the original version that I played the game from. So this is the PS3 HD version. It's basically the same game. It's basically the PS2 version of Shadow of the Colossus, but with some slight, I guess, it feels a bit different. I don't know if it's just because the frame rate is better, or if they tinkered with the controls, but it has a little bit of a different feel. It's not as clunky and difficult to control, I don't think, as the PS2 version. And the visuals are obviously better because it's on an HD version, so it looks a bit better, and it runs a lot better. It runs a lot better than the PS2 version. That's probably the main problem that people have with the PS2 version, is that it just doesn't run well at points, at different points in time. But yeah, I've always loved Shadow of the Colossus. It is often regarded as one of the landmark games in the history of video games. A lot of people love it. There are also some people who hate it because it is kind of a unique game. It is very slow, and it has this sort of an art house style to it that I don't think many people who are into the GTAs and BioShocks and God of Wars and Uncharted and this really well-known mainstream triple A franchises. I don't think many people who are into that sort of thing really vibe with this sort of a slow art house style. It's not an action game, really. It's more of a meditative open world exploration game with a little bit of action sprinkled in here and there. So you're riding on your horse around this empty open world map that doesn't really have anything in it. Just ruins of some society that used to exist, I guess. And you don't really get to ever know either what the deal is with the place you're exploring. And it's interesting. It's visual storytelling. This is also one of the games, obviously, that has inspired games like Dark Souls with their visual storytelling style. So one thing more for me to appreciate about this game is how many great games it has influenced. Also Nier is obviously influenced by Shadow of the Colossus, and so many other different games on multiple different systems. But I love the open world in this game. How you're just riding around this empty world. There isn't really even music when you're exploring. It's only the boss fights that have music in them. So you're just riding around on your horse, listening to the hoofs of the horse clopping around, and the wind blowing, and the leaves rustling in the forest. It has this ambient, really meditative ambient, almost like ASMR style to it in terms of audio design, and I absolutely love that about the game. The boss fights themselves are interesting because they're kind of puzzles. You have to find a way to climb on top of these massive enemies and then find the weak points, and there are many different kinds of them. The game is quite short. It's only, how long did it probably take me to finish it for the first time? Could it have been 6 hours? Probably not even 6 hours. It kind of depends on how much you explore, because there are some collectibles to find. Like you have these lizards that drop tails, and you can collect the tails, and then you have these fruit trees and stuff like that. So if you explore, it can take quite a few hours extra to finish the game. But if you just blast through the game, going through the boss fights, there aren't really that many of them. 10 plus. I mean, there are quite a few of them, 10 plus. But yeah, it's a pretty short game, but it's definitely worth replaying it. There's a time trial mode you unlock after you play it. You can try to beat the bosses in this sort of timed mode, which is quite rewarding, and you can look for secrets. You can try to climb the tower. That's exciting. I remember climbing the tower using the glitch that, I don't know if the glitch exists anymore, but there was a glitch where you could, midway through climbing the tower, you could kind of gain stamina back by doing a little trick. I don't know if it's still there, so I managed to climb the tower a bit earlier than I should have been able to. And yeah, it's just an interesting game. It's a unique game. There isn't really anything other like it. And when I played this When would that have been? Probably 2010, maybe. Was this released in 2010? Does it say so here? It's 2011, so I must have played this either in 2011 or 2012. And there wasn't anything really like it back then. And there isn't really anything like it now either. There are other games that obviously are really like explicit homages to this. Like you have Titan Souls, the indie game, which is basically like it's a Shadow of the Colossus but with pixel graphics and top down. And some other games that are clearly trying to go for Shadow of the Colossus style, but there isn't really anything exactly like this. Which is interesting because it's considered one of the greatest games of all time. And when you think about like game like Dark Souls, there are so many Dark Souls clones out there. And you think of a game like, well, even Portal has clones. Games that have clearly been inspired by Portal, like Anti-Chamber and stuff like that. Anti-Chamber is a very different game, obviously. I don't want to say that it's a Portal clone, but it's clearly inspired by that game. And even Uncharted, like there are so many third-person cover shooters where you do platforming, jumping on mountain walls. Like there are so many copycats, but no one has really done a Shadow of the Colossus game, which is interesting. So it's a unique experience. I understand why some people don't like it at all, because it is an acquired taste. If you don't like slow, meditative gameplay where you are just riding around on a horse, I mean, you're going to have a bad time. You're not going to find a minigun here where you can just start shooting at the Colossus. So yeah, there you go. That's my top 10. I'll stop rambling. So at number 10, we've got Nier. At number 9, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. At number 8, XCOM Enemy Unknown. Number 7, Catherine. Number 6, Portal 2. Number 5, Number 5, we will got Ketsui. And I can't remember the full name of it. It's something Notachi. And then at number 4, Fallout New Vegas. Number 3, Red Dead Redemption. Number 2, Dark Souls. And specifically the Prepare to Die edition with the DLC. And then number 1, we've got the Shadow of the Colossus Classics HD remaster. So yeah, there you go. And as usual, I'll use for the thumbnail BioShock. It's not on the list, but it's there. So there you go. That's my top 10. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week for something else. Bye.